Most people with depression, what? Feel better with medication, psychological counseling, or both. So there is help. So don't feel discouraged. You can get help. To be diagnosed with depression, you would have to experience this low feeling on most days or more than 2 weeks, and it affects your daily living and others around you. How do we know the people in our house is sick? Because it is now affecting us. We see the behavior has changed. It's not with good up husband anymore what we have. It's not with good up children what we have. It's not our good up wife. The behavior has changed. Do we agree? Yes. And depression must be what? Over what? Over how long? 2 weeks. So if you just feel sad and it's less than 2 weeks, you are not depressed. Do you agree? Do we agree? So it is said. So what is sadness? It is what? An emotional pain associated with or characterized by feelings of what? Disadvantage, loss, despair, grief, helplessness, disappointments, and sorrow. Sadness is one of the 6 emotions. So sadness, being sad, is normal. That is normal. So just that being angry, that's normal. Just that being happy, that's normal. Just that being frightened, that's normal. Sadness is normal, but depression is what? Not normal. Do we get it? We're getting there. We're getting there. So we know what is depression as against what is sadness. So is sadness different from depression? Depression is a mood when sadness is a what? You get that difference? Do you get that difference? Do you get that difference? All right? Second one, depression stays for a longer period, but sadness is short-lived. Depression can originate from life events, certain medical conditions, and some drugs as well. But sadness is a reaction to life events. So something happens and you react and you become sad. You lose your husband who you married to for 50 odd years and you become depressed. I saw a lady come to clinic, an elderly lady come to clinic, and she was crying. And I said to her, "Grandma, what's wrong with you?" She said, "My child, I lost my husband." And I said, "I'm so sorry to hear about your loss. How are you coping?" She's in the clinic after 30 odd years of this man being dead. What I said? And I'm saying to her, "But Grandma, I thought he just died." And she said, "No, it's 30 odd years." I said, "What are your children saying about this behavior?" Because she said she cries at home and she can't eat and she can't sleep. She said, "But they say I'm not living. Is that me dead when Papa dead?" I said, "Do you agree?" She said, "Yes, I feel like part of me just gone." So is she sad or depressed? She's depressed. Because you would expect somebody after 30 odd years being dead, you would move on somewhat. Not necessarily get remarried, but at least move on. Now literally crying in clinic, coming to seek help because your husband died 30 years ago.
They had a good marriage.
Yeah, had a good marriage, so she couldn't survive. We're happy for him dead. Yes. When you have a good marriage, you're going to pine and you're going to grieve and you're going to prolong the process and stuff when you have a good marriage. When you don't have one, you say a long time should have dead. That's what he's trying to say. So people react differently because of different situations. The mic is off? The mic is off? Because they're not hearing you.
Yes, I am saying it don't have to be a spouse. It can be a family member, your brother, your sister. You know, I have experienced something similar, and it still affects me today.
It doesn't even have to be a spouse or a relative. It can be a job. You good up job where you have and you just get up one day and you say them fire you. That's income gone. And if you're the one breadwinner, make it even worse. You're depressed, you not even want to eat because there's no more money coming in. So several things and situations can cause you to become depressed. But what I'm trying to let you know, there is a difference between depression and just being plain sad. We get it? Nice. Depression can develop as a mood disorder, but sadness is not a psychological disorder. Only a natural way of responding to a painful situation. We get that? A depressed person is emotionally numb sometimes, but a sad person is just exhausted. When you're numb, what does that mean? You don't have no feelings. You're just going through the motion. You're just living for today because you're just there. Nothing phases you. Nothing affects you, just living. So you're emotionally numb. All right? A depressed person shows self-disgust, but a sad person shows self-what? We get the difference? I hate myself when I'm depressed. Why me? Why me can't come out of this? Why this happened to me? But when you're sad, you say, sure, I just one of them things, them let us roll over and just try again. Do we understand the difference? All right? And so a depressed person willfully avoids social interactions, but a sad person longs for company. So you don't see a church brother or a church sister coming to church for a while and you go and visit them. The person who is sad will welcome you in. Come and have a talk with me. Sit and make we laugh. Make we reminisce about old time. But a depressed person, you knock on the door and they're not answering it. And you know them inside there. They're not answering phone calls. They're not coming out to work because they just don't want to see nobody because you just don't understand what they're going through. Do we understand? Can I move on? So what could be some of the possible causes of my depression? It is not known exactly what causes depression, just like many other mental illnesses. The causes are not, you can't pinpoint it and say, is this cause it? As with many mental disorders, I expect more and I only see one. Let me ask a question again. Anybody ever go through stress? Some that got through it when they talk to me around the back. I want to do it. No stress on that side. No stress some parts around here, so too. I want to do it. Talk to me. Because every time you get up is stress. Traffic is stress. Getting ready is stress. Because you have to know what to wear to work today. Going to school is stress because the teacher does a pick pan, you forget grades. Job is stress. Look, and the parents want good grade. And yet they must spend their money so they want good grade. So listen, man. Every day some stressful situation happens. So people with depression appear to have what? The inability to cope with their stressors. And some researchers have found that the stress hormone cortisol is produced in excess in depressed people. And some stressors are what? Loss of a valuable possession, sickness, violence, you name it, they feel it. They cannot cope with it. And sometimes you see somebody say, then that make them come off of them rockers. That's simple something there. Them couldn't cope, but you don't understand. Maybe it's things building up over a period of time. And this last straw is what broke the camel's back. Do we understand? So you can't put yourself in another man's shoes and say them should have react different. This shouldn't make them depressed. You don't know what their story is. And sometimes if you get in that storybook, you won't come out. Do we understand? Nice. Another cause could be what? Brain chemistry. So sometimes when the patient comes, we say there's an imbalance of the chemicals in your brain that causes this problem. So it's not necessarily something that you cause upon yourself. It's just nature's way. Just like how some people get cancer, some people can get mental illness. Just like how some people get hypertension, some can get diabetes. Some get the whole book. Them get hypertension, diabetes, cancer, you name it, they have it. You can call it. Arthritis, not to mention them cold time, I kill them. Are we getting it? Yes. So with the chemical imbalance, is nothing that you cause upon yourself. It's just nature's way. This is your illness. This is just your cross for beer. Do we get it? Yes. And next one is hormones. And women, don't we know it? So hormones changes in the body, balance of hormones may be involved and causing a trigger of depression. Hormone changes can result with what? Pregnancy. And during the weeks or months after delivery, and we call that postpartum depression. And we also have postpartum psychosis. Two different things. So gentlemen, when your wives, and you notice I said wives, not your baby mamas. When your wives give you your children, and both mother and baby is healthy after, say thank God. Because it's a life and death when you're pregnant, you know. It's not something you play with. Men, when your women have your children, please pamper them. Take care of them. When they feed the baby, you burp the baby. When they want to rest, you take the baby and go walk the baby. Take paternity leave. And if you're not entitled to paternity leave, take departmental leave. And if you're not entitled to departmental leave because you've done it out, take your vacation leave. And help with the baby. And menopause is another problem too. I know I'm going there. Look here now, man. Stressful, not true? Jesus. Look here. Some people going through menopause say, come like worse than madness. You feel things crawling on you. You're hot today, you're cold tomorrow. You're moody, you snap on even yourself. You don't even want to see your grandchildren. You just want to kiss them, pet them, and send them back home. You're just not in the mood. Thyroid problems. Look here, double whammy for me. So you know that hormones do play a part in your depression. And some of we just born moody as women. And some men are moody too, worse when they don't have no money. It's not only women moody when they don't have no money, you know. Man moody too. Look here. You can't talk to them.
You don't want him to see us, the husband.
Don't want it? Go again.
I said I noticed he didn't mention us.
Oh. He's saying, I just said they don't want to see the grandchildren. I didn't mention they don't even want to see the spouse. Which is true. Sometimes they don't even want to touch them. They want you to stay out. But that's hormones for you. But you need to know your partner and know what is happening with them. Inherited traits. Depression is more common in people whose blood relatives also have this condition. Listen to me. Let me see the hands of those who are married. In your mind. Let me see who is married. All right? Let me see those who are single. All right, so someone who in between, I don't know what you're doing. Dating. Let me see those who are dating. All right, you're dating. For those of us who are married, did we do a check on our spouse's mental state? Did we do a family background to see who in there have a mental illness? Did we do that check? Nobody inside there. I never do it. And I know you never do it either. But yet, when we're getting married, we go and do sickle cell check. We do HIV check. We do any chromosomal deficiency or deformity in the family, check. We want to know if we are fertile, check. But we don't do no mental illness, check. We not go down in the village and ask, oh, Master's son did grow. If him the licking head when him born, you hear out of the mouth of babes. Look here now, man. Me can know you do your check. You need to find these things out because it's easy to get in, but it's hard to come out. And when you're married to this person, you realize them start at different, you wonder what is you pick up on yourself. That time the parents will want to let them off long time. I'll help you with the wedding, pay feet full and say, go on.
We said love consume all those things.
Look here now, man. Love have boundaries sometimes to I don't know. I have been in clinic where this poor young man have him wife. Oh my God. Himself never bargained for this. Nobody told him she had a problem. And he got a rude awakening. Because he never do not check him the in love. Not even in love, he was in love. Because when we in love, we not do not check. Because we are blind. So we in love. And we don't realize that some things are in family. It's in the family trait. It down the line. And sometimes I'm not bad the relative, it's bad. I'm mad in the mud. Look here. And the closer it is to the family lineage, the nearer it will come to you. So if mother and father, brother and sister, listen to me, what you think? I'm not saying it is going to happen. But the likely events with the stressors of this life that we're living right now, any card can play. So those of us who are married already in it, we can't come out. Those of us who plan to get married, do some thorough checks. And those of us who want to stay single, stay mentally healthy, please. All right. Drug use can cause mental illness, and I'm not necessarily speaking the ganja, the good sensimania. We give you the healing of the nation, and people we are now entitled to 5 bush in our yard. So we know we are going now. My workload increase. And not everybody can smoke the good weed. And not everybody they call it fit. And worse, if you drink it, that one they're even stronger.
Would you say then that we have heard of the amount of abuses that have been taken care in families? And according to what in your thesis here, I'm discovering that most of it is not natural. It's really mental health, the beating of women, the killing of women.
Look here, you don't notice that every time a woman dead by family abuse and spousal killing, mental health issues start rise up on the forefront. Money start pumping to mental health. You never realize it. It just needs to take one incident for them to see. And it is an epidemic out there. Just by getting up, you can see it. Sometimes you don't even feel straight yourself. Do we understand? So drug use, and drug use doesn't necessarily mean illegal drugs. It can be legal drugs too. So you over-medicate yourself with the drugs that doctor give you at the pharmacy, especially painkillers. You take excess where you're not supposed to. All right? In essence, depression can be expressed as what? And this is somebody with depression speaking. I'm so broken that I can feel it. I mean, physically feel it. This is so much more than being sad now. This is affecting my whole body. So somebody with depression just feel like the whole body is affected. They can't move, they're just numb. That's what depression feels like. Depression is feeling like you've lost something. but having no clue when or where you last had it. Then one day you realize what you lost is yourself. That's depression. That's a powerful statement from somebody who has depression. And I'm going to read it again so you can feel it with them. Depression is feeling like you have lost something, but having no clue when or where you last had it. Then one day, you realize what you actually lost was you. Yourself. That's how powerful and how strong the feeling is. So it's not just being sad. Depression is a serious problem. So who is at risk of being depressed? Who? All of us, not true? So that's why when you see somebody with a mental illness, don't put up your face. Today for them, tomorrow might just be you. Because mental illness does not respect anybody. Whether you are rich or poor, brown or black, employed or unemployed, attending church or going to parties and not coming church any at all, male or female, young or old, mental illness is a respecter of no one. Do we get it? Yes. Una sure? Yes. All right.
So, Sister Grant, what do you say? Because I've heard it in church. What do you say to our members who say somebody who is a real Christian, trusting in God and praying and have a good relationship with God, can be depressed or can commit suicide?
What happened in the Garden of Eden? Look here. Which one of we wish we were living in the Garden of Eden? At the time before it siled up and sin step in. How many of us? Over here, so down in hell. Some over here, so. We over here wish we were living in the Garden of Eden because there was no sin. At the time, it was a perfect world. No sin. But sin crept in over in this garden. We never put up them on. And because of the sin, illness come about. And not because you are served. We studied over the class over here this morning. Things are going to happen to Christian people. The devil, that's the time the devil come upon you. Illness is going to come. Don't fool yourself. But when it does come, it's how you react to it that makes you the Christian you should be. Still praise God. Job never let down God. Job still praise him, and Job they sit more than enough of we inside here. Although his wife said, curse God and die. The man said, you speak like a foolish woman. So if you get a mental illness, it's not that you're spiritually weak, but that's the time you should be spiritually strong. Because you still serve a God, a risen God, who will help you through it. And listen, let me tell you this. Healing don't necessarily come physically, so the mental illness might not go. Healing comes with acceptance. Meaning, this is where I am, this is what I need to do, this is where I need to be, and by God's grace, I will make it no matter what. So, you can be serving God like I don't know who, the best of your ability, but because the life we're living in this world, things are going to come at us. It's how we react to it that says where we stand. So our church brothers and sisters can become affected with mental illness. It doesn't mean they're spiritually weak.
To follow up on Dr. I think it's a very good question Dr. Buckley has asked. My understanding that Elijah was a depressed person when he ran away from Jezebel. And then he did ask the Lord to take his life. But I don't know how we can handle the part that she wants to know of if a Christian could become so depressed that the person would commit suicide. Now, there are a lot of people who believe that that Samson did commit suicide. We had a big discussion on it in the setting of theology, but I discovered that he did not commit suicide. It was self-sacrifice. So, Sister Butley, Samson did not commit.
Sister Butley, I hope I answered your question. I hope everybody is clear.
Well, I'm sharing this. We had quite a tragedy as a conference recently. One of our pastors committed suicide. It was very tragic how it happened. It was one of our young pastors. He waited until his family left for the weekend. His wife left, his 2 small children left, and then he left a recorded message, and then took his own life. Really shook us up. That a man of faith, person who you assume knows the word. As a matter of fact, the Sabbath before, he was in church preaching, pastor. Church preaching. The fact is that depression, as we're now getting it, Sister Grant, is a clinical diagnosis, and it's not something we simply can just pray away. Can simply pray away. And apparently, he was not following through with some of his meds and the regime the doctors had him on. But it was really tragic. I can't stand here and say I can explain it or have all the answers. But I do know that there are some principles, I'm sure Sister Grant spoke about them, that we can seek to apply in our lives. But there comes a point when it becomes clinical where we need professional and pharmaceutical help.
Thank you, Pastor. So, depression is serious. Depression often begins in the teens. Teens, 20s, or 30s. But it can happen at any age. Even children get depressed. More women are diagnosed with depression than men, but this may be due to part that women go doctor enough and love talk. Men don't really go doctor. So you don't get the statistics. You have to really pull a man to the doctor for him to go to the doctor. Persons at greater risk of getting depressed are what? Persons with personality traits, or low self-esteem, or being too dependent on other people, very self-critical and a pessimist. So they look on the downside of life. Those people are more prone to become depressed. Persons who have experienced traumatic events, stressful life events, you're in a gun-prone area, every day you hear gunshot, you get depressed. Stressful kind of things, loss of a loved one, difficult relationships, financial problem, you can become depressed. Persons who have gone through childhood trauma or depression that started when you were a teen or a child can become depressed in adulthood. They have blood relatives with a history of depression or bipolar depression or alcoholism, or suicide is in the family. Change in one's stability or constant instability in one's life can cause depression. Are we getting that? So today you're working and you stop working. You were the breadwinner, you're no longer the breadwinner. You had a wife, you no longer had a wife. All of them move out, leave you. Understand? You come to church and you was the first elder, them take it from you and now you're a backbench member. No offense. But I'm just saying, people do take different events seriously. Or church election and you not get no office and you feel away because you deserve it and somebody else get it instead of you. History of other mental illness disorders such as anxiety disorder, eating disorder, or post-traumatic stress disorder, you might get depression too. Abuse of drugs, and we spoke about that, you can become depressed, and pregnant women are prone to depression. And after you have the baby. Serious chronic. You're not used to taking so much meds, and the meds cause more problem than good. It give you ulcer problem, it give you heart racing, it give you... Look here, never hear the advertisement, them the drugs what them take for give you for help with something, the side effect worse than what you have already. Only never hear, notice it. All right? Certain medications too can cause depression. One of the side effects for some medication is depression. So you take it for do with arthritis and it make you depressed. All right? So how do I feel when I'm depressed? Feeling of sadness, tearfulness, emptiness, and hopelessness. Angry outbursts. So you might be depressed, but yet you're just ignorant, dark, and fool. But it's not that you're illiterate, it's just that you're just depressed and you can't talk, you can't tell nobody, so you just snap. You're just snapping, you're just snapping, you're just snapping. Loss of interest over pleasurable things. Things that you used to find pleasurable, you no longer want to do it. And I'm not delving in that no more than I should. But if you no can't read, you don't understand. I'm pastor, I need to preach, so I'm running along. Sleep disturbance, if you don't want to talk to me after, no problem. Sleep disturbances including insomnia or sleeping too much. You just sleep, and you're not pregnant. You just sleep, and you're not taking any medication that makes you drowsy. You just feel depressed and you don't want to do nothing, you just sleep. Or in some cases, you don't sleep any at all. All right? Tiredness or lack of energy. So even small tasks take extra effort. So things you used to do at work and you used to do it in just a couple minutes, it's taking days for you to finish that work at work. You get an assignment at church and you take long to do it, pastor for them on your case, and you say, what is man, your man? Him not understand. We getting it? So things you usually do, it slow down now. You have no interest in it anymore. Changes in appetite. It's either you eat too much or you eat too little. So we have the extremes. Anxiety, agitation, and restlessness, slow thinking, speaking, and body movement. You just move, so. Like you have nowhere going. You just a pong. Feelings of worthlessness or guilt, fixating on past failures. The past is the past. But a person with depression don't see it like that. They delve in it, they swallow in it, they just do everything. They should have done that and they never achieve that and they never get that out of life. So persons who are depressed are like that. Trouble concentrating and making decisions and remembering things. Frequent or recurrent thoughts of death. Suicidal thoughts, suicidal attempts, or suicide itself. 3 different things. Suicidal thought, you're just thinking about it. Suicidal attempt, you actually try it. You try something, but you never succeed. And it's a way of calling out for help. And then the last one, you actually commit the suicide. You end your life. All right? And unexplained physical problems, so you have backache, headache, and you can't explain. You just keep on feeling sick, and there's no explanation why you're feeling sick. How different are men from women? Different. Men blame others while women what? Self-blame. Men are angry, women more sad and feel like worthless persons. Paranoia for the men, while women are more anxious and frightened when they are depressed. Men create conflicts and come home and start war over nothing. Women avoid the conflict. She just say, all right, me do what you say. Restlessness and agitation, men, women slow down, and the list goes on. I'm running on. So what are some of the signs and symptoms for our children? Irritability or anger, continuous feelings of sadness, guilt, worthlessness, and hopelessness, social withdrawal for children, increased sensitivity to rejection. So I just say, Pitney left me and go on this, so now they feel worse than just a general. Just say, Pitney leave me now. Changes in appetite, changes in sleep, vocal outbursts. A child just keep on snapping at you. And it's not necessarily they don't have no manners, but they are dealing with some issues and they can't talk. Fatigue and low energy, they don't want to go to school. They also have physical complaints too, and no matter how you carry them, go doctor, and doctor can't find what happened to the child. They're not playing like they used to, and thoughts of death and suicide.
In your research, in your thesis, in regards to men and women, what have you discovered? Men are more prone to commit suicide than women?
What I know is that men have different method of suicide than women. Women are more prone to do the tablet kind of thing, and men are more prone to do the shooting kind of thing, the hanging kind of thing. You know, and the women take more poison. That's what I find. But as I said, with depression, women are more prone because they go to doctor and speak about how they feel. Men hardly go and talk. So you'll have more statistics showing that women are more prone to depression than men, when maybe it's the opposite. All right? Please note, for many people with depression, symptoms usually are severe enough to cause noticeable problem in day-to-day activity. So you will notice a change in the person, and other people may feel generally miserable or unhappy without really knowing why. So they can't explain why they feel this way, but something is happening. So you will see the difference. How serious is this thing called depression? Very serious. As Pastor pointed out, it is a serious problem. Don't brush it under the carpet. Get help for somebody who has the problem. Complications from depression: excessive weight or obesity, because what? You're eating too much. And some of us who feel sad and low, we eat ice cream, we indulge in cake, yes, comfort food, Burger King and the fries, because that make us feel good. So we get fatter. Pain and physical illness, alcohol abuse. So some of us turn to the bottle because we are depressed, anxiety, family conflicts and relationship difficulties. So because you have problem, everybody are going to have problem in the yard. Social isolation, so you don't go out anymore. Suicidal feelings, self-mutilation. So the cutting, you usually find that in young people. The cutting. So you look at your children, if they are wearing too much of long stuff, search what is under their long blouse. Search what is under their long shirts. Because some of them are cutting the hands, cutting the legs, where you can't see. Premature death from other medical conditions. So you're depressed and you don't take the medication what doctor give you, so diabetes, which shouldn't necessarily kill you, end up killing you. Do we get it? How is depression treated? Medication. You need to take your medication. Go to your doctor. They must diagnose you. Don't stay home and diagnose yourself. Let the doctor diagnose you based on what you say, and don't hold anything back. Speak. If you don't talk, they cannot help. Do we understand? Next, psychotherapy, meaning you talk. So you go to a counselor and the counselor talk to you, you express your feelings, they process it, and if they can't manage it, they send it to the psychiatrist, who will probably prescribe something for you. Next one is hospitalization. Some persons are so depressed they can't stay home. You have to take them to hospital to get treatment. That's how serious it is. All right? So how can I help myself or someone with depression? Stick to your treatment plan. So if you're diagnosed with depression, take your medication. Keep your appointments. It is important. And the medication you get are going to cause side effects. But it doesn't mean that you stop coming clinic because the pill them will kill you. Come and talk to your doctor. They will change it. Do you understand? Because with antidepressants, sometimes when you stop taking your pills and you start taking it back again, you feel worse. Because it makes you feel worse before it makes you feel better, some of them. Do we understand? Learn about depression. Doctor say you have diabetes, go read it up. Doctor say you have depression, go read it up. Doctor can't tell you I treat you for something and you don't investigate it yourself. What goes so? So you have to investigate it yourself. Pay attention to the warning signs. If you were depressed before, you know how you feel when at that time. Know if the feelings are coming back. Say, yes, I'm getting depressed again. If you haven't been depressed, but you read up on depression and you're feeling the way they are describing, seek help. Avoid alcohol and recreational drugs. It gives you a high, but that high is not permanent. You are going to go low, and that's depression. Take care of yourself. Listen, nobody can take care of you but you. If you're entitled to vacation leave and you feel like you're burnt out, take vacation leave. Take away yourself. If you need to take away yourself from your family for a day, just go out and sit down and eat ice cream. Go eat ice cream. Simplify your life. No is a good word. No is a good word. Use it sometime, because when you are burned out, it's just 9-day talk when you're gone. Write a journal. If you can't express yourself to somebody because you don't trust them, write in a book and express yourself. Don't become isolated. When you isolate yourself, and it's easier said than done with a depressed person, because you know one of the signs and symptoms is isolation. But visit people. Although you're not, and you know they're there, don't leave. They might just open up to you. Learn ways to what? Relax and manage your stress. Structure your time. Some of us have poor time management. We want to cram 28 hours in how much days hours a day? We want to cram a 28 into a 24-hour, and we cannot do it. Don't make important decisions when you're down. You will sell your house. So don't make important decisions when you're down. Where can I go to get professional help? Your doctor, your clinic, psychiatrist or psychologist, and there are 2 different disciplines. Hospital, community mental health services, and you have it in your parish. I work in St. Catherine, but you belong to Clarendon. So Maypen Hospital has a mental health clinic. You have Lionel Town, you have Denby, you have Crofts Hill, you have different places that Chapelton, you have different places that offers mental health service for free. Your medication is free at the drug serve. Use it and utilize it. So summary, one of the reasons depression is often misunderstood is that people may equate it with just being sad. 2, depression is an illness. It's not obia. It's not bad mind. It's not guzum. It's an illness. Sadness or low mood is not always an inappropriate response. Because sadness is a normal what? It's a normal response to things that happen to you. In addition to low mood and loss of interest, depression can have what? Other troubling symptoms, including the sleep problems, the eating problems, the energy low, concentration problem, you name it, you have it. So remember, depression doesn't have a specific look, nor does it affect specific persons. So, let's talk depression. Because what? You need to help somebody, and sometimes the help that you give is just by talking to them. And so there's no good health without good mental health. Because when this goes, this follows too. So take care of your mental health. I hope I have shed some light on something, and I hope you have learned.